Sure. So I'm Emmaia. I live in New York City, and I'm an activist. I started out in queer activism and anti-racist activism, and I ended up coming to Queens for a semester during college. And while I was there, I was looking for the LGBT Society, or the Gay Soc, as it was called at the time, and there wasn't one. And then when I asked some friendly folks at the student union, what to do about that, they suggested that I just organize one. But the real kicker for us that really got us the publicity that we needed and made people drop in was that there was a scandal article posted. So we did put out a press release. We were learning a lot from the work of organizations in the U.S. that also did collective stuff. So the model of funding a space using like nickels and dimes, basically, that was from the Lesbian Herstory archives, and the model of having like purely collective decision making and having it be having that be sort of a point of pride, that was from like ACT UP. I mean, it wasn't that people didn't have their own experience as well of other places, but that was sort of the ethos that, I don't know, for me at least, that was driving me. So one of the sort of pieces of that practice was to always put out a press release whenever you're doing something, and to use the media as a way to disseminate the information, even knowing that they're always going to do a hatchet job, to still just use that as a way to communicate. So we put out a press release that we were opening Queerspace, and we actually also, I guess, sent a letter to businesses on Botanic telling them, asking for donations. I don't think we got anything. I'm not sure. And the Sunday World picked up our press release, and they called some, fundamentalist Christian ministers whose names I'm sure I should know. And they got, the scandal reaction, like, we're going to come pick at that place, we're going to shut it down, But they ran the story with a picture of us. It was, the church was sort of like a little tiny tile of a photo in the background, and the picture is just of us and the space, and we looked happy and comfortable. And I think that was really the advertising for Queerspace that launched us. One thing that was happening at the time was that a lot of people were unemployed. And so it was really important to them to have a drop-in space, it was like, it gave structure to people's days. But the other thing that it did was it meant that Queerspace was always full. And it sort of developed some caretakers, some people who were just there all the time. And I'm sure more than one of them has died by now, but one of them who died much too young, who I really, really miss, and who's not well memorialized, is Eleanor Hamill. She was a young, very fierce dyke from the Shankill, and she just showed up at Queerspace and absolutely welcomed everybody and made it her own as well, and was just a lot of fun and a lot of trouble, but a lot of fun. And she hasn't been well memorialized at all, so I just want to make sure we say her name.